Boss tells View, enough already. Dagan, according to the Daily Beast, Disney and ABC execs have told The View to tone down their Trump bashing because they're constantly doing it. Should they, though? I mean, isn't this their brand now? They got nothing left. If you take that away, what do they have?
Not in a subdued, elegant manner, Greg Gutfeld just went nuclear on The View. No, what he served up was scorching than July pavement in Florida. At the same time, it was said that Disney's CEO was threatening to kill the show with a single, terrifying message. Put an end to it, or we will. It was more than a roast. The public grilling was intense. Gutfeld made such a vicious joke out of that threat that even Mickey Mouse would have phoned for help. What, then, drove Disney to the brink? And how did Gutfeld transform this threat in the boardroom into a joke that the entire internet was watching?
The owner of ABC News and daytime talk show The View is now the subject of a new report claiming CEO Bob Iger is urging the show's host to tone down their criticism of President Donald Trump.
Always want us to be respectful and do the things and talk about the stuff we talk about. We can do all of that. But when you are blatantly giving the country the middle finger, that is blatant. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to take the bait.
Don't you think when he elects these white Africans and claims that's giving the middle...
This drama is more serious than a $20 turkey leg at Magic Kingdom, so fasten your seatbelt. The tea is here. House of Mouse typically uses its cancellation wand in response to a Marvel movie that failed more spectacularly than a roller coaster drop or some half-baked cartoon flop. This time, however, the glittering axe was directed directly at the drama queens of daytime television. The scenery, yes, that overpaid, overturned chatterbox table, finally got out of hand. So far throughout our conversation, the envelope wasn't simply pushed. It slammed them squarely in the filler after boomeranging back. And here's the thing. They are the same ladies who once walked out of Scandal unscathed. Present covered in Disney's corporate bubble wrap, essentially. Suddenly, however, the executives were in more fear than a visitor who had misplaced their child at Epcot. Greg Gutfeld smelled blood in the boardroom when something changed. The formula of 5 obnoxious women in high heels arguing over lattes about which celebrity should be canceled this week doesn't seem to be generating record-breaking attendance these days. Isn't that shocking? Disney's media empire may not be saved by a glorified brunch brawl on live television, as it turns out. And who steps in as the ratings drop to less than a Disney DVD from the discount bin? Fox News' sarcasm sniper is Greg Gutfeld.
As if the show is some delightful chit-chat fest without the political talk.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a lullaby and a shot of dipple.
Yeah.
if they're not ripping on Trump. Here's Joy. She's going to share her feminine hygiene routine and tell you how to prevent your old tatas from going down having a picnic with your belly button.
The whole character of the man is constructed like a roasting machine. Imagine Gordon Ramsay with a lot more eye rolls and less shouting. And he didn't recoil when he learned of Disney's subtle threat cancellation feelings. He prospered. Gutfeld didn't simply return the clap. Like the 4th of July, he illuminated the entire stage. In essence, he transformed the perspective into the Hindenburg of television during the day. Burning, bloated, and filled with hot air only. The nicest part is that he didn't have to say it aloud.
Except, hoo-ha. Wow, that is pretty good, isn't it? It's hee-haw, me too-haw. Michelle, you okay, Michelle? At least somebody got it, even when I was thinking, I go, does that make any sense?
Yes, it made...
Screaming isn't the point of Gutfeld's roast game. Smirks, sly quips, and enough side-eye to set out a UV warning are all present. The disdain that permeated every joke was palpable. He did more than just make fun of the show. He presented it on a silver platter, dipped in contempt and seasoned with petty remarks. When half the audience only watches to see who would lose it next, he ripped back the curtain on a performance that has been presented for years while posing as the voice of women. Grandiose illusions, please. It resembles drama in a dollar store tiara more than anything else. Until those women continue to think in unison like backing dancers at a woke rally, slapping the same politicians and exuding their own moral superiority, that is. Observing the vista is similar to being confined to a group therapy session where the therapist leaves mid-session to star in Real Housewives of Burbank. Everyone interferes and nobody shuts up.
Lighten up, and this is what they did on the Qatar jet. Or Qatar jet.
The United States has accepted the plane. Is going to
He has the plane. The United States has not accepted the plane.
He's representing the
He's
government.
not representing us.
He's the government. Why does he want to secure it? Because he's the king.
Because
he wants to go around the world. The king.
If it goes to him and his presidential library,
Yes,
becomes
but
his plane.
but we all know that that's BS. Okay. Not giving that to his presidential library. He's going to take on fly and use it, but he's not supposed to have it. I got the Constitution right here. He's not supposed to have the plane. Okay?
All right, my point, Michelle. If you take that away from them, I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
Chaos reigns. Created pandemonium with a teleprompter and a glam squad. After giving the show every opportunity in the book, what ultimately caused Disney to lose it? It allowed it to go from a daring debate to a self-satisfied recycling bucket of recycled Twitter indignation. At last, they made the connection. Louder yelling does not necessarily indicate that anyone is paying attention. There was no decline in viewership. It was more difficult to nosedive than a plot twist in Marvel Phase 4.
To entertain audiences, critics saying Disney's too woke, but you're just putting out storytelling.
We are. I don't really like the term woke because I think it's an umbrella term that I'm not 100% sure even it means, and one could argue that sometimes it's used too liberally. That said, our primary purpose is to entertain, and we entertain responsibly. Obviously, we try to do that. We try to have a positive impact on the world, but the first thing we need to do is...
You have more than just a ratings problem when your target audience is people who unintentionally left the TV on after Blowy. You have a serious crisis. Naturally, Greg Gutfeld could smell the flop from a great distance. Like a cat on a wounded bird, he leaped. He depicted the scene as the Roman Colosseum of television throughout the day. Instead of warriors, however, its highbrow hosts hurling passive-aggressive insults and motivational sayings from Pinterest at one another. Instead of roaring, the audience is only clearing their throats awkwardly as they wonder why the show is still airing. Furthermore, Gutfeld didn't merely criticize the format. He completely destroyed the cast.
Joey, is that it's like it is a microcosm of the Democrat Party. If you look at The View, it's tightly wound and miserable, largely female, hallucinating, angry. Sausage maker Johnsonville is recalling than 42,000 pounds of pork sausage for possible contamination with plastic fibers. Fortunately, authorities were able to track all 42,000 pounds to a single location in New York City.
Like characters in a lousy sitcom, each host was ridiculed. They are walking cliches, he said. From the person who believes victimization and vibes are equal to expertise to the wannabe professor who uses 5 words to sound deep. No depth, no variety of ideas. Just a rack of costumes and cliched roles performing the same old stale routine every morning of the work week. Nothing else is there. You have the perpetual victim, whose entire persona consists of a combination of exaggerated eye rolls, dramatic sighs, and unrelenting moral outrage.
It's like it's become like a medical hospital that blames human misfailure. Like it's like here, let's look at this political oddity. Ah! You know, it's like it really is like the left-wing equivalent of a carnival show, except instead of bearded ladies and fat clowns and 2-headed cows. Well, let me rephrase. But The View is a victim of the sunk cost.
As if she were trying out for a courtroom drama that no one requested. The side-eye was genuine. Numbers are honest. The View is more than simply a discussion show, so when the ratings cliff turns into a canyon, someone needs to look down. Once believed to have influenced national discourse, the brand is now barely able to keep up with group chats.
Lie after lie after lie. Now you're carrying this big bag of rocks around you because it's too harmful for their ego to admit that we really were dishonest. And they could be honest. All they would have to say is, look, we hate Trump so much. We were willing to lie about Joe Biden because we felt he was preferable. We thought our lying and our cover-up on your behalf. Just say that. You're still scum, but at least you're...
Even good lunchtime gossip can't be sparked by The View anymore. The takes need a nap because they are so exhausted. The same tired justifications are made with the fervor of a tax audit. With viewpoints as empty as the coffee mugs on their table, the debates were scheduled more closely than a speed date. As well as Gutfeld. He did more than make fun of the show. He used jokes sharper than a chef's knife while conducting a live autopsy.
Aging drug for dogs has moved closer to getting FDA approval. Customers are already waiting in line. No, it's nothing personal. We just say using the same picture 3 times.
He made sure the entire world saw the disaster by holding up a mirror that was fractured, cloudy, and covered with layers of ego, hypocrisy, and sheer delusion. No mercy, no filter. Gutfeld then expressed what everyone else was thinking but was too afraid to voice aloud. There is no show in The View. It is a vicious cycle of anger and burnout that screams into its own echo chamber. The irony, a panel that thrives on criticizing others, is unable of enduring even a brief moment of introspection.
It's Jackal. If you hate Kamala's cat, according to The View's moo-moo-wearing mascot, Joy Behar, men are sexist if they're not a fan of Kamala's laugh, or funny women in general, especially if they're in bed. Roll it.
What really ticks me off about it, though, is this laughing Kamala remark. It's such a sexist remark because a guy I was with a weekend, a friend of mine, they said Kamala's laugh annoys me. Remember they said that about Hillary's laugh, that she was cat. And men, you know, they don't like a funny woman. We're afraid if you laugh or you make a joke, that maybe do that when they're in bed with you.
Oh my.
Joy Behar in bed? Ooh. I thought cows slept standing up.
It's more of a competition to see who can get upset the quickest than a discourse. Each episode seems to be a paradox in live action. Anger is marketed as virtue. Shouting in a wise disguise. The same media behemoth that packaged it is now threatening to shut it down. Irony, eh? Additionally, don't misunderstand. Politics has nothing to do with this. Performance is the key. The View announces, emotes, and does not discuss. It does not educate. This table isn't for discussion. It's noon seance, where emotions take center stage and reason is ignored.
Nice break from the normal chatter, right? Did you know the audience they couldn't tell the difference? Because generally it is a screaming match. And so you have the audience basically joining in. That stuff, it has a reverse effect. Like it's making me more militant in my adherence to fossil fuels and to red meat. It's like I see that, I go, I'm gonna just start eating a raw ribeye while driving a tractor trailer up a mountain of coal. Just like this the whole time. I'm stopping, I'm coming for you, View. But you're right. It's all it's actually not right versus left. That's left.
Gutfeld didn't need to give a fiery diatribe or distort the facts. They are edgy, want what wrapped in truth. It's not a 5-way shout fest that makes you feel like you're in a family group chat that you didn't ask to be in. Gutfeld is presumably clinking his whiskey glass at Fox News in the meantime, not in celebration, but rather in shock that it took Disney this long to realize the problem. Because this was more than simply a roast in the end. The view of the screechy velociraptor pacing the cage is still the major attraction. So yes. Here's the catch though. View is not the only thing in danger. It's the entire genre of phony indignation masquerading as insight. The event of extinction has already begun. It's the sort of setting where you suddenly gain credibility the more offended you appear when someone brings up free speech. And every minor argument is handled as though it were a full-fledged World War II sequel. Not that deep, spoiler alert. This isn't a passing trend with The View. It's the precursor to a full-blown existential flu in legacy media. The system as a whole is ill. Clutching their pearls and claiming it was progress, these traditional leftist publications have been lurching toward irrelevance for years. Even the loudest echo chamber eventually gives down, though, particularly when no one is left to echo back from the other side. The View might attempt a complete makeover, but let's face it, that would need each co-host to develop self-awareness, humility, and the capacity to resolve real conflicts without degenerating into a live TV tantrum. And let's be honest, neither their contracts nor their health plans address any of it. Here we are, then. Consequently, if you're looking for more breakdowns, brutal media situations, and flimsy commentary on the mayhem behind the cameras, please remember to subscribe and like. and we'll see you in the next.